Okay, now it's recorded. Check this out. Curtis Jackson know my grandmother. Her name is Joyce Williams. Used to take care of you when you was running around Left Rock City. You know my cousin, Monty Scott. You talk to Monty all the time. I'm ashtray on the bucket. Word up. 50 keep it real. He a street cat. The rest of them, I don't know.
50 just do what he do good. He an actor, he an entertainer, he get his money. So
I think he entertains well.
He do what he do good.
You know, his first album, you can tell like he was just kind of coming from the heart, you know.
They brought a lot more fans to hip hop. A lot of the kids growing up grew into it, and that's what they like.
I don't like nothing about it because G-Unit, that nigga motherfucking 50 Cent, he's a bitch, dog. He's talking about saying that he from motherfucking LA, he's up in there in New York and all that shit. Come on now, dog. You a buster, dog.
He wears like really nice business suits and really nice, he's got a nice sense of style and fashion. Like I can see myself, you know, in like a cool leather suit, you know, like he does.
What I like best about G-Unit's music, I think, is the way it's their lifestyle, the way they portray their lifestyle in videos and the hot cars and the hot girls and all the bling bling.
Money rules America. That's all it is. You got money, you get places. You ain't got no money, you're gonna struggle for a long time.
They definitely do their thing though, most definitely. No one can take that from them. They definitely get money.
In the next 5 or 10 years, I believe G-Unit will probably be doing movies or they'll be a part. Everyone's trying to do their own thing with their own record labels and everything.
In G-Unit, yeah, I give him props and all that, but you know, he's a buster.
The whole entire rap game is based on presence, notoriety, fame, fortune, respect, and crews. Crews and cliques are the major backbone and money machine that implements a source of energy, hood, and ghetto pass that everyone and music labels begs for. The streets began long before the beefs, and as long as the beefs survive, the streets can't be safe. Crews include such groups as Junior Mafia, which is comprised of 2 separate groups and 2 individual artists. The Sixes, Little Caesar, Chico, and Nino Brown, who claim to know right from wrong and practice it. The Snakes, cousins Larceny and Trife, who represent the enraged attitude expressed in a large number of America's youth. MC Klepto, who offered insight on a life of boostin' and hustlin'. And Little Kim, aka Big Mama, or the Lieutenant, the only female in the group, who showed the ghetto life from a woman's point of view. The late Notorious B.I.G. acted as the godfather to the group. Continuing on, NWA was formed in Compton, California in 1987 and included Eazy-E, MC Ren, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and Yella. The group's rhymes helped reinvent rap lyrics through the unflinching portraits of gang life that they created. The Dog Pound, best known for members of Death Row Records by the likes of Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, Corrupt, Lady of Rage, and Dat Nigga Daz. And last, the Wu-Tang Clan, whose members include GZA, Ghostface Killah, Inspector Deck, Master Killer, Method Man, Old Dirty Bastard, Raekwon the Chef, RZA, and U-God, have been running the rap game for years. Since the beginning of time, even God has had his crew and beefs that would and will last until the end of time. Lucifer, or the devil, has endured much ridicule from the masses that would make any or most earthly beings run to the top of a 100-story building and jump with no soft landing. The biggest beef in the world as we know it is between God and the devil, good against evil. God's crew runs deep and everlasting. Can any crew other than that be worthy? Maybe, maybe not. But one crew that we all know makes the hip-hop industry move, and that is G-Unit. G-Unit originated from the mean streets of New York City. They emerged on the New York scene by independently releasing several mixtapes. The name of the group is short for Guerrilla Unit, or Gangsta Unit. The original members of the group include 50 Cent, Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks, and Young Buck shortly after. The group worked hard and released several mixtapes, which earned them a lot of attention in the rap industry. The most prominent of these being 50 Cent's Is the Future, God's Plan, No Mercy, No Fear, and Automatic Gunfire. G-Unit has also started a mixtape series with their DJ Who Kid, called G Unit Radio. Before the group had a chance to record its debut album, Tony Yayo was sentenced to prison for a gun possession charge as well as bail jumping. During Tony Yayo's prison sentence, the group signed Nashville rapper Young Buck. They continued their activity, working on yet more mixtape recordings. In particular, their G-Unit remix to 50 Cent's PIMP was successful. The group's founding members, 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo, all grew up on the same block. They rapped and sold narcotics together. When 50 Cent was noticed and signed to a label, both Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo worked hard on mixtapes in order to gain attention as artists themselves. 50 Cent was then dropped from his label due to him being shot 9 times in front of his grandmother's house. After being shot, 50 Cent signed with Interscope Records. Due to the success of his debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', he was granted his own record label. This was when G-Unit Records was created. 50 Cent's history began in a friend's basement, where he used turntables to record over instrumentals. In 1996, a friend introduced him to Jam Master Jay of Run DMC, who was organizing his label Jam Master Jay Records. Jay taught him how to count bars, write choruses, structure songs, and make a record. 50 Cent's first official appearance was on a song titled React with the group Onyx on their 1998 album Shut 'Em Down. He credited Jam Master Jay as an influence who helped him improve his ability to write hooks. In 1999, after leaving Jam Master Jay, the platinum-selling producers Trackmasters took notice of 50 Cent and signed him to Columbia Records. They sent him to a studio in upstate New York, where he produced 36 songs in 2 weeks. 18 were included on his unofficially released album, Power of the Dollar. In 2002, Eminem listened to a copy of 50 Cent's Guess Who's Back CD. He had received the CD through 50 Cent's attorney, who was working with Eminem's manager, Paul Rosenberg. Impressed with the album, Eminem invited 50 Cent to fly to Los Angeles, where he was introduced to Dr. Dre. After signing a $1 million record deal, 50 Cent released his mixtape, No Fear, No Mercy. The mixtape featured the song Wanksta, which was put on Eminem's 8 Mile soundtrack. In February of 2003, 50 Cent released his commercial debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin'. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling 872,000 copies in the first 4 days. The lead single, In the Club, which The Source magazine noted for its blaring horns, funky organs, guitar riffs, and sparse hand claps, broke a Billboard record as the most listened to song in radio history within 1 week. With the album's success, Interscope granted 50 Cent his own label, G-Unit Records. He signed Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and Young Buck as the established members of G-Unit. The Game was later signed under a joint venture with Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment. Entering the scene as the third in command of G-Unit, Lloyd Banks was born Christopher Lloyd in Baltimore, Maryland, and was raised in South Jamaica, Queens. His mother is Puerto Rican, and his father is African American. His parents were young and never married when Banks was born. His father spent most of Banks' childhood in prison, which left Lloyd Banks' mother to raise him and his siblings alone. Banks started writing something resembling poetry at a young age, and it started taking form. Eventually, he got the courage and rapped his rhymes on the streets of New York. People's reaction to it stunned him. He kept freestyling and participating in local battles, creating an unstoppable growing buzz for himself. Lloyd Banks grew up around the corner from 50 Cent and Tony Yayo, so they would usually rap together. They starred in many city shows. Lloyd Banks attended August Martin High School in Queens, New York. Even when he was in school, instead of doing his schoolwork, he would write down everything that came to mind. Even when he wasn't rapping, he would write. It was something he did in his spare time. He could not flourish lyrically in a structured school environment, so he dropped out before he turned 16. Knowing 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks since his childhood, Marvin Bernard, better known by his stage name Tony Yayo, was born March 31st, 1978. Growing up with 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks, they formed the group G-Unit. They released several successful mixtapes together, slowly creating a buzz for themselves on the streets of New York. With the success of their mixtapes, Tony Yayo quickly made a name for himself in the rap circuit. On December 31st, 2002, nearly a year before the release of G-Unit's highly anticipated album Beg for Mercy, Tony Yayo was arrested, along with 50 Cent, on weapons possession charges. During a background check, police discovered Yayo had an outstanding warrant for a previous weapons possession charge. In early 2003, he was sentenced for bail jumping and would remain in jail until the beginning of 2004. As a result, he was unable to record for the album and was therefore only featured on 2 tracks that had been recorded before he went to jail. During Tony Yayo's imprisonment, G-Unit became increasingly popular. They started a campaign called Free Yayo. Many G-Unit videos feature the group's members wearing Free Yayo t-shirts. But Yayo himself was unaware of the attention he was receiving. When Eminem and 50 Cent were scheduled to make an appearance during the Grammy Awards, it was the first time he saw a Free Yayo shirt, this time worn by Eminem.
I'm in the day room, I'm watching it. Somebody called me. Matter of fact, my man Spank and Barnes called me. They're like, yo, M's on the Grammy. So when he came out, he bought a free Tony Yayo shirt. I just started screaming in the day room, making mad noise. I was real hyped, man. I was kicking chairs over. You know, I was real hyped.
Inspired by the shirt, he started working extra hard on his rhymes while keeping in touch with the G-Unit crew, who were letting him know that he would get his chance once he was a free man. In 2003, the group's debut album, Beg for Mercy, was released. His face is seen on the brick wall of the album cover because he could not be photographed on account of his jail sentence. Beg for Mercy sold 2.3 million copies in the US and 4 million copies worldwide. The only featured guest on the album was R&B singer Joe. Production came from High Tech, Dr. Dre, Scott Storch, as well as others. If 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Tryin' is hip-hop Scarface, G-Unit's Beg for Mercy aims to be its Goodfellas. A gangster drama complete with widespread violence and 50 Cent as head of the family. But unlike a Scorsese film, there's little that's poignant or humanizing here. Beg for Mercy is more about being on the top of the rap heap and loving it. The cinematic, bouncy production on the album is almost as full of life as Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Dark, hooky funk is augmented by flutes, horns, and soul choruses on tracks such as Stunt 101 and the excellent Footprints. Though 50 is the star of the show, fellow G-Unit soldiers Tony Yayo, Young Buck, and Lloyd Banks rhyme almost as deftly and viciously about guns, beef, platinum jewelry, and the terrors of the hood. The result is stronger than most star-fronted posse records. On January 8, 2004, Tony Yayo was released from prison. But after presenting a forged passport to his parole officer a day later, he was imprisoned again for a few weeks. Upon release, Tony Yayo was finally able to start work on his debut album. Doing that bid wasn't easy, because I knew how crazy it was getting on the outside, says Yayo. I have the most love for Banks and Buck, because they held their album so they could make sure that I got a verse on them. I only got the one bonus cut off on the G-Unit album, and they knew it was important for me to get out there to get the buzz going again. In addition, Yayo made stellar guest appearances on Game's triple platinum debut, as well as 50's already 5 times platinum, The Massacre. All the while, trapped under ankle restraint parole, he crafted his album with the help of G-Unit co-founder and executive producer Shaw, who fed him strictly the hottest beats. Newcomer Young Buck, whose real name is David Darnell Brown, joined the group when Cash Money Records artists came to New York and 50 Cent heard Young Buck rapping. After 50 Cent signed his contract with Aftermath Entertainment, Young Buck joined the group. 50 Cent gave Young Buck a feature on his successful debut Get Rich or Die Tryin' album on the track Bloodhound. After this, he appeared on G-Unit's debut album Beg for Mercy, which went on to be certified 2 times platinum. Young Buck then released his debut album. Young Buck started rapping at the age of 12. It was not until the age of 14 that he started recording in the studio. Although he was in the studio recording, he was also well known on the streets because he used to deal drugs in his neighborhood. The older drug dealers then gave him the nickname Young Buck, due to the fact that although he was dealing drugs at an early age, he was also making money. Brian Baby Williams spotted Young Buck at the age of 16 having a rap battle and took on the young rapper. It was not long before Young Buck left high school and was recording along with the rest of the Cash Money crew. Not long after joining Cash Money, would the rapper decide to leave for somewhat greener pastures. Young Buck joined UTP Records, but things between him and the record label would soon sour. Shortly thereafter, G-Unit arrived on the scene, and Young Buck inked a deal with them. But in all respect, the most prominent member of G-Unit next to 50 Cent was Game. Game was originally signed as an artist on Aftermath Entertainment, but Interscope Records CEO Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre decided to have the Game also work with 50 Cent and G-Unit. The arrangement was to help build a growing buzz around Game, which would also fuel interest in G-Unit. Since then, he has made numerous cameo appearances in music videos by 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, and Fabulous, first appearing in the music video of In the Club, Dancing with a Girl. Jayceon Taylor, famously known as The Game, was born in Los Angeles, California, to his mother Lynette Baker and his father George Taylor. He was raised in the district of La Brea before his family moved to Compton, California when he was 4 years old. After his older sister accused his father of sexual molestation when Taylor was 5, his family split up, and he lived with a foster family for 8 years in Carson, a suburb of Los Angeles. When Taylor was 13, his mother was re-granted custody, and he was reunited with his family in Compton. He spent his later life living in a primarily Crip gang neighborhood, known as Santana Block, although he grew up to become a member of the Blood street gang. Game claims that his mother and father were affiliated with the notorious street gang, the Crips, during their life. After graduating from Compton High School, Game had a short stint at Washington State University on a basketball scholarship. However, he was kicked out in his first semester due to drug allegations. It was then that he started fully embracing street life and turned towards selling drugs. At the age of 18, he began to follow his older brother, Big Phase 100, who was the leader of the Cedar Block Pirates. Game was shot 5 times in 2001 over illegal drug disputes, receiving bullet wounds to the heart, stomach, arms, and leg. The single attack put him in a 3-day coma, and while recovering in the hospital, he decided to pursue a career in the rap industry and leave the street life behind him, at least for a while. In early 2005, though, a feud between the Game and G-Unit began. Even before Game's first album was released, their feud became public. There was tension between Game and 50 Cent. Soon after the documentary's release, 50 Cent felt the rapper was disloyal for saying he did not want to participate in G-Unit's feud with other rappers, and even wanting to work with artists with whom G-Unit was feuding, such as Nas and Jadakiss. 50 Cent also claimed that he was not getting his proper credit for the creation of the album. He also claimed that he wrote 6 of the songs, but Game denied that. During that dispute, a member of Game's entourage was shot after a confrontation at the Hot 97 studio in New York City. After the situation between them escalated, 50 Cent and Game held a press conference to announce their reconciliation. Fans had mixed feelings as to whether the rappers created a publicity stunt to boost the sales of the two albums the pair had just released. Nevertheless, even after the situation had apparently deflated, G-Unit continued to feud with Game, denouncing his street credibility in the media, and claimed that without their support, he will not score a hit from his second album. Game responded during a performance at Summer Jam and launched a boycott of G-Unit called G-U-Not. It's short for G, Gangsta, You Not. 50 Cent has since registered the G-U-Not trademark, preventing Game from using it anymore. After a performance at Summer Jam, Game responded with 300 Bars and Running, an extended track aimed at G-Unit, as well as members of Rockefeller Records on the mixtape You Know What It Is Volume 3. 50 Cent responded through his Piggy Bank music video, which featured Game as a Mr. Potato Head doll and also parodies other rivals. Since then, both groups continued to attack each other. Game released 2 more mixtapes, Ghost Unit, and a mixtape DVD called Stop Snitchin', Stop Lyin'. 50 Cent's rebuttal was Not Rich, Still Lyin', where he mocks Game. In addition, G-Unit started to respond on numerous mixtapes, and new G-Unit member Spider Loke began insulting Game in various songs. Game responded with 240 Bars, a song mainly aimed at Spider Loke, but also addressing Tony Yayo and rap group M.O.P. Authorities began investigating the shooting of a 24-year-old member of 50 Cent's G-Unit posse. The victim was shot in the leg in the lobby of New York's popular Hot 97 hip-hop R&B radio station, while 50 Cent was making an on-air appearance. The attack occurred shortly after the rapper made a live statement that he was ousting West Coast gangsta rapper and breakout hip-hop star Game from his G-Unit group. Earlier in the same month, Game, whose Dre-produced debut, The Documentary, debuted at number 1, had made an appearance at Hot 97, at which he dismissed comments 50 Cent makes against Queens rapper Nas in the track Piggyback, which leaked before the official release of 50's upcoming album, The Massacre. Perhaps in an effort to avoid an escalating battle, Game even suggested he might collaborate on a track with Nas. Everywhere we go, there's people hanging around, Game associate Roderick Johnson told Rolling Stone after a shooting at the Game's home in early February of the same year. We know history. We look at Biggie, at Tupac. We aren't going to let nobody get so close to our man. In October of 2006, Game extended a peace treaty to 50 Cent, which was not immediately replied to. However, a couple of days later on Power 106, he stated that the treaty was only offered for 1 day. On Game's album, Doctor's Advocate, he claims that the feud is over on a few of the songs. The feud seemed to have gained steam after Tony Yayo allegedly slapped the 14-year-old son of Zara Entertainment CEO, Jimmy Rosemond. Game responded with Body Bags on his mixtape, You Know What It Is, Volume 4. G-Unit have released a song named We On Some Shit, which is aimed at Zara Entertainment, as well as Cameron and Fat Joe. After Game's departure, 50 Cent signed singer Olivia and rap venerates Mobb Deep to G-Unit Records. Rappers Spider Loke, M.O.P., and Young Hot Rod later joined the label. 50 Cent expressed interest in working with rappers outside of G-Unit, such as Little Scrappy of BME, LL Cool J from Def Jam, Maze from Bad Boy, and Freeway of Rockefeller, some of whom he recorded with. In September 2007, he released his third album, Curtis, which was inspired by his life before Get Rich or Die Tryin'. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, selling 691,000 units in the first week. Now, the hottest disc master around, DJ Woo Kid grew up in Queens. He became popular not long after 50 Cent and G-Unit rose to fame. His new fame has enabled him to have his own radio show on New York's Hot 97, as well as on Sirius Satellite Radio. Because of his close relation with G-Unit, he was made their official DJ. On January 15th, 2004, DJ Woo Kid won the award for Best Mixtape DJ at Gesto Faisone's 8th Annual Mixtape Awards. He has appeared on magazines such as XXL, Tablist, Mixtape, and many others. He has also released DVDs and a clothing line in Japan. Woo Kid's mixtape musical selection tends to lean towards aggressive, New York-flavored gangster rap, and his show features many new and unheard of tunes, often exclusives from the G-Unit Records camp. He was also featured in the video game 50 Cent Bulletproof. Backing G-Unit, he publicly dissed Game on Hot 97. In response, the game's 15-minute-long diss track, 300 Bars and Runnin', retaliates by saying, "I told Funk Flex when I catch the nigga Woo Kid, we gonna see if he know how to DJ with bruised ribs." DJ Woo Kid responded with "Stop hatin', stop bitchin'" from the mixtape Pow, Radio Volume 2. Game has yet to respond. In 2004, Olivia, the first lady of G-Unit, was signed. The first showcase of her talents were for the group's release of the albums Beg for Mercy and The Massacre, including the smash hit single Candy Shop by 50 Cent. Her first solo singles released were Twist It, followed by So Sexy in 2005. With little success or mass appeal, in the spring of 2007, Olivia was dropped from G-Unit. Bang 'Em Smurf. Never an official member of G-Unit, but very closely affiliated with them before they signed to Interscope Records. He claimed that before 50 Cent saw mainstream success, the two recorded a mixtape from which they would earn $5 for each sold. They sold 400,000 copies. 50 Cent allegedly never gave Bang 'Em Smurf his share. In addition to this, Bang 'Em Smurf claimed that 50 Cent did not contact him or bail him out while he was in jail. This led to him and his close friend Domination no longer wanting to be affiliated with the group. Domination was never an official member of G-Unit, but was a close friend of Bang 'Em Smurf during his G-Unit days. After the two had a brief feud with 50 Cent in G-Unit in 2003, Domination and Bang 'Em Smurf were no longer associated with the group. Mobb Deep. In June of 2005, Prodigy and Havoc surprised fans when they announced that they had inked a deal with 50 Cent's label G-Unit Records and had become part of the G-Unit beefs. The move was seen as surprising because 50 Cent had included an indirect diss to the group in his song Piggy Bank. 50 Cent had a connection to the duo as he grew up in nearby Jamaica, Queens, and had also used Havoc as a producer for several different beats for G-Unit's Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo. The relationship strengthened as Mobb Deep and 50 Cent each received tattoos to pledge their loyalty to each other. Prodigy has the words G-Unit tattooed on his right hand, and 50 Cent has Mobb Deep tattooed on his wrist. Upon signing to G-Unit, both Prodigy and Havoc were given new Porsches, a gift for two artists who had received very little monetary compensation in the past. Mobb Deep's most recent album, titled Blood Money, was released on May 2nd, 2006. It features G-Unit members 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and Young Buck, as well as Mary J. Blige and Nate Dogg. This marked their 8th release. Since joining G-Unit, Mobb Deep has also become involved with the G-Unit vs. Game feud. In the Outta Control video, Mobb Deep are wearing t-shirts that say, G-Unit Game Over, referencing Game's departure from G-Unit. Mobb Deep disses Game in a 7-minute diss song with the rest of G-Unit, entitled 300 Shots. Many, including Mobb Deep's longtime fans, saw the group's movement to G-Unit as a departure from the original Mobb Deep sound that had come to characterize their earlier releases, because Havoc himself had become less involved in the production of the group's music. Not to mention that many of their original fans felt that Mobb Deep had sold out. In recent times with G-Unit, Mobb Deep has moved away from its characteristic gritty yet soulful New York sound and into more of a mainstream pop sound that is in sharp contrast with the lyricism-focused and simplistic hip-hop of the early to mid-1990s. On November 3rd, 2006, Mobb Deep became the first ever American rap act to perform in India via VH1's Hip Hop Hustle. They performed in a nightclub called Enigma. Havoc, in absence of Prodigy, performed with other members of Infamous Records, such as 40 Glock, and the night was a huge success. In November 2006, there were beginnings of speculation of increasing tensions between 50 Cent and Havoc. Prodigy released solo material with Koch Records before the end of 2007. Havoc, however, declined to sign with Koch, instead choosing to join a smaller, more independent label called Nature Sounds. Also, for Prodigy in 2008, it was supposed to see the beginning of his 3.5-year prison stint on January 9th, and the release of his new solo album, H-Nick 2, in March. But his jail time has had many delays due to the fact that he suffers from sickle cell anemia. Prodigy pleaded guilty to criminal possession of a loaded gun in 2007, after he was arrested alongside producer The Alchemist in October of 2006 in Manhattan. Police had stopped Prodigy's bulletproof Chevy Suburban from making a U-turn and driving the wrong direction down a one-way street in an attempt to secure a parking spot. Police found an unlicensed .22 caliber handgun in Prodigy's SUV and charged both men with gun possession. Charges against The Alchemist were eventually dropped, but Prodigy pleaded guilty to his third count of possessing a gun and was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. Prodigy said he'll make good use of his time behind bars. Throughout my life, I have always lived through adversity. I'm a survivor. You don't understand the mental power that I have. While I'm locked up, I'm going to be writing lyrics, working on the script for my second feature film, Dope, and finished writing an autobiography of my life, which will be finished by the time I'm released. With no room for slackers and no mistakes allowed, 50 Cent has warned his fellow rappers to work hard to succeed, because if they fail, he won't hesitate to fire them. As CEO of his label G-Unit Records, the Candy Shop star has the power to make or break a rapper's career, and he insists he has no problem dropping artists from his roster if they ever fail to impress him. He told Vibe magazine, "I'll fire everybody. I don't give a fuck. They're capable of all their responsibilities, but when they start slacking, they gotta get the fuck out of here." The only person that is exempt from persecution is his G-Unit crew member and childhood friend, Tony Yayo, who he suggests is named in his will should anything ever happen to him. He adds, Yayo can't be dropped, period. He doesn't even need to sell records. As long as I'm breathing, he's gonna be good. And if I'm not breathing, then he's gonna be real good. With the G-Unit's family growing so ever fast, the hardcore rap group MOP announced their signing with 50 Cent's G-Unit Records. Around the same time as Queens rap duo Mobb Deep, 50 Cent is a big fan of the group and has stated he plans to gain the group more mainstream success. The duo, comprised of Billy Danzini and Little Fame, are known for their loudly aggressive delivery. Although they maintain a strong underground following, they had some minor mainstream success in the early 2000s, with the songs Anti-Up and Cold as Ice. The group has frequently collaborated with DJ Premier. The duo completed a song with 50 Cent, which was featured on the Get Rich or Die Tryin' soundtrack, entitled When Death Becomes You. The story of Hot Rod Sacramento's original, the Phoenix-based former mortgage broker's rapping career, started with a phone call.
Actually, I got a call from one of the A&Rs. You know what I'm saying? He called me, and then he said he's going to call me right back. He just called me to tell me he's going to call me right back, you know what I'm saying, on a conference call. So as soon as he called me right back, he said he had 50 on the line. So I'm like, come on, man. You ain't got no 50 Cent on the line, man. So They said, no fit, I'm talking to 50 Cent, man, you know what I'm saying? And they just flew me out the next day, and it was on from there.
His style has been described as similar to 50 Cent, with lots of hooks and a melodic delivery. As such, his lyrics do not include violent content or drug dealing. He is also signed to Money Management Group, which is a subsidiary of G-Unit Records. He was initially signed to G-Unit Records after a CD containing a sample of his music was sent to the G-Unit offices in New York. 50 Cent liked what he heard and offered young Hot Rod a position on his label. Hot Rod recalls, "I'm at work like, are you serious? Shut up." All the way up to that point, everybody that I talked to said the whole demo thing was a rap. I was the type of nigga like, whatever, I'll send a demo because I know my shit was hot. 50 Cent commented on young Hot Rod's style. He said, "Rod's music sounds like something I would do. If he had the same aggressive content that I have in his music, then I would say he's trying to copy my style. But his music is a reflection of his actual lifestyle." Spider Loc was first discovered by Suge Knight and tagged along with Death Row Records, but never signed a deal. In September 2004, Spider Loc met rapper Young Buck in Atlanta, but he knew him before this and did an a cappella for him. A week later in Los Angeles, Young Buck introduced him to 50 Cent on the set of the Shorty Wanna Ride video, and he performed the same freestyle. After 4 months, the rapper signed a record deal and a position with 50's G-Unit. He has since been featured on many G-Unit mixtapes, such as G-Unit Radio Part 18, Rags to Riches, where the Loc was the main subject of the mixtape, and has also released his own mixtape with G-Unit West, entitled Bangadocious, which featured artists Young Buck, Big Psych, 50 Cent, and former Miss G-Unit Olivia. Spider Loc has yet to release an album under G-Unit. Spider Loc is also a member of the Crips street gang, called 97th Street East Coast Crips. Getting the reputation in full force with G-Unit at his side, Spider Loc robbed rapper Yuckmouth for his chain while in a nightclub in Hollywood. In a 2006 interview, Spider Loc admitted to a brawl with Yuckmouth and his entourage. Spider Loc took pictures wearing Yuckmouth's chain, and they soon spread across the internet. Starting at industreets.net, Yuckmouth then made a few phone calls and received the chain back the next day. Yuckmouth has dissed Spider Loc in many songs, like Adatamine, Play a Hater, and I'm the Shit. The last member signed to G-Unit, Little Scrappy, is much more than the Prince of Crump. He is a fighter, but more than that, he is a moneymaker. The artist, born Daryl Richardson, began his career hidden in the shadows of Little John's crunk movement. Now, he's poised for a return to the spotlight with a new album and a new improved version of himself. In an exclusive interview with Hip Hop DX, Scrap opened up about past beefs, his love for money, the new music, a new executive producer, and he even answered questions as to why he doesn't need a bodyguard. From the moment he introduces himself, one understands Scrap as a relentless Atlanta representative. The home of the Braves is also home to a brave young man who's had to endure a lot to make a name for himself. After the tribulations, he still maintained his focus and primary goals intact, even though he's had to face doubts and beef since he entered the stage. He came into the mainstream world partnered up with Trillville as part of Little John's crunk revolution. Scrap wanted more, and soon it became apparent that the stage wasn't big enough for him and Trillville. Once the hits began dropping, people started talking, although tensions seemed to have dissipated. Scrap understands they must coexist in order to be productive in the industry. A person like me, I know how to start something and I know how to put it out, he told DX. At the end of the day, they was on my label. So I'd rather be going against a whack-ass motherfucker that ain't on my label than a whack-ass motherfucker that's on my label. I'd rather be going against somebody else that ain't got nothing to do with me making money, he explained. Part of making money is also oftentimes connected to who you are surrounded by. Yes, he's backed by the king of crunk, but Scrap knew he needed to capture markets beyond the Dirty South. Enter 50 Cent. Faced with an injury that landed him in bed rest, Scrap claims 50 Cent was the only one to visit. That solidified a partnership that has grown into a BME G-Unit connection to reckon with. As Scrap put it, he's got the best of both worlds, as 50 Cent and Little John take on the task of co-executive producing his album. This should play well into his money-making passion. It's easy to see Little Scrappy undeniably loves to make money. Knowing beefs can come between that, he's opted not to resort to any negative spats with fellow rappers. Still, being a fighter in the industry, he's ready to scrap if he must. And rolling with G-Unit, he's bound to encounter some beef. We all know about 50 Cent and his quarrels with various rappers. When asked if he'd partake in the ongoing beefs G-Unit has with acts such as Nas, Game, Fat Joe, and others, he maintained the slogan, "It's all about the money. I don't have nothing to do with none of that. But if I ever see one of them, I always been cool with them before. I just throw the deuces and keep going because I do have that situation with 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? Big homie looked out for me, so at the end of the day, if Big homie says get him, I'ma get him. But if not, Big homie told me already, don't even get into it. So it's about the money," he explained. Before signing with Interscope Records and before G-Unit, 50 Cent had been in disputes with rapper Ja Rule and his label Murder Inc. 50 Cent claimed that the feud began in 1999 after Ja Rule spotted him with a man who robbed him of his jewelry.
There was no connection between me and him prior to him actually robbing the nigga. Later, I see him in Amazon, Club Amazon. And we there, we kicking it. And he see me there laughing and shit, playing around with the nigga. And he start feeling some kind of way based on that. You know what I'm saying? He looking like that's the nigga that robbed me right there. And he see me over there laughing and playing with him. And it kind of filtered from that over. Because later on, it's like, yo, what up? I said, what's up to the nigga? And the nigga acting funny, like he didn't want to say what's up. I said, this nigga's a bitch out there, he's a sucker. Nigga just robbed you right there. You ain't doing nothing. You know, but you act like you don't want to say what's up now. You know, so it's bullshit, man. It started from some real bullshit, you know what I mean? But just...
However, Ja Rule claimed the conflict stemmed from a video shoot in Queens, because 50 Cent did not like Ja Rule getting so much love from the neighborhood. The confrontation occurred in a New York studio, where rapper Black Child, a Murder Inc. artist, stabbed 50 Cent, which resulted in him having 3 stitches. Since then, Black Child has made 2 disses towards 50 Cent. There's a Snitch in the Club and You the Wanksta. In both songs, Black Child talks about shooting 50 Cent, stabbing him, and other things. I got a lot of living to do before I die, and I ain't got time to waste. Shoot this nigga in his face. The exchange of insultive tracks released from both parties culminated into Ja Rule releasing Blood in My Eye, which was an album that mostly insulted 50 Cent. Ja Rule eventually tried to squash the feud with 50 Cent by using Minister Louis Farrakhan in a televised interview. However, the attempt at peace lost credibility as the interview was scheduled a day before Blood in My Eye was released. As a result, most fans, along with 50 Cent, dismissed the interview as a blatant publicity stunt. Because of the ongoing feud between the two, 50 Cent's label mates Eminem, Dr. Dre, and Obi Trice have also become involved and have also released tracks which insult Ja Rule. Ja Rule later released R.U.L.E. with the successful single New York, featuring Jadakiss and Fat Joe, in which Ja Rule took subliminal shots at 50 Cent. This single prompted 50 Cent to enter a feud with the two artists.
Just when I did the song New York, New York with Ja Rule.
It is that, okay.
Yeah, and ever since then, you know what I mean? I guess, you know, every couple of years or months or something, this guy wants to come back at me. I don't know what to tell you, but what started this whole new frenzy going on is Rap City. They showed me a clip where he said, yo, I'm going to destroy Fat Joe. And I'm like, Yo, B, ever since I beefed with him 4 years ago, I made It Rain. We made Taking Over. I'm So Hood. I Won't Tell was top 10 in America. I don't know who this guy thinks he's stopping or who he's fooling. I really don't think he realizes how powerless he really is right now. So he could come up here and beef, and he uses other people's heat to get hot.
Although it seemed that the feud was over, Ja Rule returned with a track entitled 21 Guns. In response, Lloyd Banks and 50 Cent released the track Return of Ja Fool on Lloyd Banks' mixtape Mo Money in the Bank Part 4, Gangrene Session starts now. In an interview with MTV, Ja Rule has stated that his new album, The Mirror, will not be containing any past feuds that he is engaged in. He said, "There was a lot of things I wanted to say, and I didn't want there to be any bitter records on the album, because I'm not bitter about anything that happened in the past few years." 50 Cent pointed out that Fat Joe painted a target on himself by partnering up with Ja Rule in a song where Ja Rule insulted 50 Cent. 50 Cent recorded the track Piggy Bank, in which he attacked Fat Joe. Fat Joe responded with a track entitled My 44, and although he said that he would not respond, he made 3 more tracks: Massacre of 50, Victim, and Whip Your Head. 50 Cent and Tony Yayo took more shots on him on I Run NY. Even though things died down at the 2005 MTV Video Music Awards, Fat Joe mentioned that all of the police presence in the venue was courtesy of G-Unit, which related to his lyrical accusations that 50 Cent was a snitch. 50 Cent and Tony Yayo retaliated on set later in the show at the end of their performance by shouting obscenities towards Fat Joe and Terror Squad, which were censored by MTV. Tony Yayo claimed Fat Joe ran from them at the VMAs. Also, Pistol Pete, a non-rapping member of Terror Squad, appeared on Game's Stop Snitch and Stop Lying DVD and disrespected Tony Yayo, Chris Lighty, owner of Violator Records who had ties with 50 Cent, and James Cruz, 50 Cent's manager, and claims he chased Tony Yayo near a jewelry store. Lloyd Banks, Spider Loc, and Young Buck have also been insulting Fat Joe. In 2007, the feud has only been carried on in interviews by affiliates from both parties. A feud between 50 Cent and Cam'ron began when 50 Cent was on Hot 97, giving an interview, and Cam'ron called in. Cam'ron asked 50 Cent whether he had the power to stop records from being released on Koch Records, and 50 Cent that he does in some respects. As the conversation escalated into an argument, 50 Cent called Koch Records the industry graveyard. Cam'ron replied and started insulting G-Unit by saying that Jim Jones' newest album sold just as much as Lloyd Banks' album did, despite the fact that Dipset is on an independent label and G-Unit is on a major label. 50 Cent took offense to this and said that Lloyd Banks has made more money than Jim Jones, which makes record sales irrelevant. Cam'ron lost his temper and started ranting. Most notably, he brought up the poor record sales of the new Mobb Deep album. His rant became so profane and disruptive that the radio station was forced to hang up on him.
If you want to do...
Lloyd Banks is at 300,000. Jim Jones is at 300,000.
Yeah.
Jim Jones is on an independent. Lloyd Banks is on Yellow.
But Lloyd Banks has more money than Jim Jones, and when you want to talk on that level. See, you get ready to turn it into something else. Check this out.
What is you talking about? Then you let Prodigy come over here.
Yeah, I let him do a deal over there because he asked to do the deal over there, and I said, you know what? You can go if you want to do that.
How much Mobb Deep sold this year?
All right, y'all gotta...
Curtis. Yo, Curtis, how much did Mobb Deep sell this year?
You're not going to be... You can ready to cause a whole different situation. Watch this.
Let's not make it a different situation.
He thinks that it's good. He thinks that it's good to go into competition. I'm not going to stop competing.
How much did the mob sell, Curtis?
Let me tell you something. The difference between Dipset and the average artist that signs to...
How much did fucking Mob
Whoa, all right, we got to shut him off.
How much the mob and how much Lloyd Banks sold?
Monse.
Doing the same numbers you do.
Monse, we got to cut it, honey.
The difference
Cam,
between...
I'm sorry, baby. And I want to be fair to everybody, but
now listen, the difference between...
We can't, even you, Cam, can't curse.
On February 9th, 2007, a video premiere of 50 Cent's funeral music appeared on DJ K-Slay's MySpace. The video attacked the leader of Dipset. This is not seen as an attack on other members of Dipset. As 50 Cent says, "From now on, Jimmy's the boss of Dipset, and Jules is the capo. Cam is demoted to soldier. We like Jimmy better anyway." Cameron recently responded with a track called Curtis, titled after 50 Cent's first name. Cameron doesn't state too much, other than claiming he enjoys 50 Cent's shoutouts to Dipset members Jules Santana and Jim Jones. Then goes on to discuss Santana's and Jim Jones' sales on their recent albums. 50 Cent and Young Buck made the song Hold On, with a video in which 50 Cent takes shots at Cameron. Cameron responded with Curtis Part 2, which he shot a video for. In an interview with MTV, Tony Yayo aired his feelings about Cameron. He said, "I don't believe Cameron. I don't believe Jim Jones. I don't believe Lil Wayne. I don't believe Baby. I don't believe Game, and I don't believe Fat Joe. I feel like Cameron is a peon. Let's ask the general public. When was the last time Cameron made a fucking hit? It's time for these niggas to pay the piper." Paying the piper is also what law enforcement had in mind when in 2008, Tony Yayo was charged with endangering the welfare of a child, as well as assault and harassment, in connection with his alleged role in the roughing up of the son of Game's manager, Jimmy Henchman Rosemond, in March of 2007. According to Yayo's lawyer Scott Lehman, the district attorney revealed in court that the co-defendant in the case, honorary G-Unit member Lowell Lodi Mac Fletcher, was interviewed by the infamous New York Police Department Hip Hop Squad following his arrest in the case. But the police did not disclose that conversation to the district attorney's office until right before the trial. Tony Yayo's attorney explained, the DA disclosed that despite constitutional protections, members of New York's infamous hip-hop squad interviewed Lowell Fletcher after his arrest, and he said that Yayo was not the person who hit the boy. Fletcher said that he was the one who slapped the boy, but the DA didn't learn about it until last week. The judge in the case has set a trial date for March 31st, 2008. Yayo, whose birthday is actually on the same day the trial begins, said he couldn't go into details of the court proceeding, but that he felt positive about it. "Everything is good," Yayo said. "I got top-notch lawyers. I don't smack kids. I got a kid on the way." Yayo's name also popped up in the news when a house belonging to his road manager Barja Walter was not only shot up, but had a Molotov cocktail thrown at it. Previous to that incident, Yayo's mother's house was assailed by firearms as well. "He's good," Yayo said of his manager in an interview. "Truthfully, he don't live there. He don't live in that house. Picture my road manager living in the hood." Tony's mom does still live in her neighborhood, in the same house that was violated.
And I think ever since the day my mom's crib got shot up, I changed. When I went to my mother's crib, you know, and I looked at all the bullet holes in the windows and the doors and in the ceilings and in the oven and the stove, because it was like 21 shots. My sister and niece was actually in the house.
Another feud examined. A feud between G-Unit and DJ Khaled began when, on Rap City, DJ Khaled was asked to choose 3 classics out of a total of 8 albums. He chose every album except Get Rich or Die Tryin'. This resulted in Young Buck releasing an unnamed track which insults DJ Khaled and Terror Squad. Young Buck also commented on the situation in an interview. As SOHH.com reported, Young Buck was threatened last winter by a ban from Core DJs, of which DJ Khaled is a member. While Buck says he has made peace with the prominent DJ collective, he can't figure out why Khaled won't play their songs. On a new track, which was fittingly played by DJ K-Slay, aka the Drama King on Hot 97, Buck spits, "Khaled, play my stuff, man, I'm the best. I don't carry grudges cause I get it off my chest. Maybe Fat Joe telling you not to mess with the unit," he raps. "You can't ban me from your radio or no DJ," he continues, before alluding to Khaled's hit, "While you taking over the city, I'm taking over the state." Toward the end of the track, Buck speaks over the music. "I tried to get your man to play my stuff. Mia want to hear my stuff. They messin' with you, but they mess with me more. I understand your situation, man. Being loyal to your crew, I'm loyal like a mother too, but a hit is a hit. For you to win, you gotta play the hits. And I'm bumping, man, so play my stuff, man, like every other DJ. While 50 Cent has made a career of dissing other rappers and starting beefs, it appears that his antics have finally caused some negative fallout to his crew. In particular, Tony Yayo. SOHH.com reports that Yayo was put in a less than comfortable situation when he showed up for a radio interview with DJ Khaled in Miami. The rapper was scheduled to be interviewed by DJ Khaled and K-Fox, but Khaled is a member of Fat Joe's Terror Squad crew, who 50 Cent and Yayo have both dissed on wax. Several reports surfaced that Yayo was forced out of the radio station and that he and Khaled were involved in a physical altercation, but according to Khaled, this was not the case. He said, "Nobody at the station, including myself, tried to force Tony Yayo out or tell him to leave. He decided on his own to leave and not do the scheduled interview." The feud is still ongoing, and the heat is turned up full blast. G-Unit is considered some of America's most wanted. The wanted signs are posted everywhere. G-Unit's more wanted than the Cheesaw Gang from the movie The Kid with the Golden Arm. 50 Cent is considered the kid with the golden arm of the rap industry. In 2004, Young Buck was sought by police on suspicion of stabbing a man who punched hip-hop legend Dr. Dre at the Vibe Awards. Buck is signed to Dr. Dre's label as part of the G-Unit clique, which was named Best Group by the Music Magazine. Before it was over, Buck had fled the Santa Monica Airport hangar where the award show was being taped. The incident was sparked as Snoop Dogg and Vibe founder Quincy Jones were about to give Dre a Lifetime Achievement Award. A man later identified as Jimmy James Johnson approached Dre, who was seated at a table in front of the stage, and appeared to ask for an autograph before punching him. People began shoving, chairs were thrown, punches flew, people got chased. Johnson was dragged away by security staff, but then suffered a serious stab wound when he was attacked by a number of people, including Young Buck. Johnson suffered a collapsed lung and was hospitalized in stable condition. Rapper Young Buck surrendered to police and was charged with 1 count of attempted murder and 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon. The rapper was booked at the Santa Monica jail and released on $500,000 bail. Police charged Young Buck in part based on video evidence from the award show. A video of the incident revealed that 3 males were in the immediate area of this melee and were seen to be holding knives. Brown is clearly depicted as holding the knife after the assault and is one of a number of fight participants who was pepper sprayed by officers attempting to stop the unlawful assaults, said a statement from the Santa Monica police. Getting the matter resolved a week before Young Buck was due in court to answer charges, the rapper has favorably resolved the matter, according to his attorney, Scott Lehman. Young Buck will still attend court, but now it will be solely for a hearing. The details of his deal with prosecutors were not known. The 24-year-old has been out on bail since his arrest for the incident. Jimmy James Johnson pleaded guilty to assaulting Dr. Dre and was sentenced to 1 year in jail and 3 years of probation, and was ordered to stay away from Dre for 3 years. Young Buck isn't completely out of trouble. He was due in a New York courtroom on January 26, 2006, to face another weapons possession charge, stemming from an arrest in August of 2005, in which police pulled over a van carrying Young Buck and his entourage and found 2 guns in the vehicle. Nearly a year after he was alleged to have roughed up the teenage son of a business rival, all the charges against rapper Tony Yayo were dismissed on February 14, 2008. According to a statement released by his lawyer Scott Lehman, Tony is no longer facing any criminal charges relating to the incident that occurred last year. The charges of misdemeanor assault, harassment, and endangering the welfare of a child were dismissed as part of a plea deal to a lesser non-criminal harassment charge, which brought with it 10 days of community service. Lehman said the G-Unit rapper accepted the non-criminal resolution of the case to avoid the unnecessary hardships of a trial. Lehman thanked the New York District Attorney's Office which he said agreed with his stance from the beginning of the case, which was that, after investigating the altercation, Tony Yayo should not be subjected to any criminal liability in the incident. Lehman had previously told MTV News that Tony Yayo's acquaintance slapped the 14-year-old son of Jimmy Henchman Roseman.
I'm always guilty until proven innocent. You know, innocent till proven guilty? No, guilty till proven innocent. They trying to say that I smacked Jimmy Roseman's son, and I got 2 witnesses right now saying that I didn't do it. So if it was a regular person on the street, the case would be over. You know what I'm saying? But being that Henchman is getting his son a rat in order to get a lawsuit or whatever he's trying to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? That I got to deal with going to trial or whatever which way it may go.
In 2007, Yayo pleaded not guilty to the charges and claimed that he had actually attempted to pull Fletcher away from the teen during the incident. As I told you from the beginning, Tony Yayo did not hit anyone and would never do anything to harm a child, Lehman wrote in the statement. This fact was confirmed by Mr. Fletcher when he told members of the notorious hip-hop police that he did this on his own. The hip-hop police buried this helpful information, and the charges against Tony Yayo proceeded. Without a doubt, today's proceedings have validated Mr. Bernard's claims that he was falsely accused. All that Tony Yayo admitted to doing was getting out of the car and glaring at the victim. Once he realized what Fletcher was doing, he went and grabbed Fletcher to pull him away from the victim. Fletcher pleaded guilty to 1 misdemeanor count of endangering the welfare of a child and was sentenced to 9 months in prison to run concurrently with the state prison sentence he's now serving on a narcotics charge. Cynthia Reed, the mother of the teen involved in the case, issued a statement following the dismissal of the charges. As much as Marvin Bernard tried to wiggle his way out of his role in assaulting my son, who was a minor, he had to accept responsibility to accept a plea deal. Reed said he couldn't hide behind 50 Cent, G-Unit, Violator Management, or his co-defendant. This malicious crime against a child is despicable, and any industry sponsor or company that supports individuals like Tony Yayo should remove themselves from a relationship with him and his affiliated entities. Crimes against children should never be legitimized just because a person is an entertainer. A public apology is appropriate at this time, not only from Tony Yayo, but from 50 Cent for denying this event ever happened, as if my son was lying when all along they knew this assault had taken place. Lock and Load is the second studio album from the rap group G-Unit. The title of the album was originally rumored to be Locked and Loaded. Then it was announced as Shoot to Kill, and eventually changed to Lock and Load. It was originally scheduled to be released on December 18, 2007, but 50 Cent recently stated in an interview on Power 105 that Lock and Load will be scheduled for a later release. 50 Cent commented on the method of songwriting and recording that his group was using. He said, "We ran through 18 records, but what I was doing at that point was I was allowing them to make the same effort that they would make for mixtape material for the album. So we'll put some portions of that material that were made during that time span on the actual street. It's not going to do anything but build momentum." During an interview, Spider Loc mentioned that G-Unit have recorded 70 to 80 tracks, which could appear on the album. However, in an interview with AllHipHop.com, G-Unit has stated that there are currently 18 possible tracks which could make the final album. In an interview with MTV, 50 Cent confirmed that Eminem, Swizz Beatz, and Timbaland have all contributed to the album, with Eminem's track being the last to be finished. He said, "We gotta work with them, that's it. Then we can be done with it. Production-wise, I captured what I needed, but I didn't want to not have M's stamp on it. We probably won't get his vocals until he's heard the full body of work and he's excited about it. Before my work goes to the public, it has to pass the Eminem test, the Dr. Dre test. It's a few tests before we push them to the street. That's why they can expect a higher quality of 50 Cent music than the usual artist." Tony Yayo confirmed that Timbaland and Swizz Beatz will be providing production for the album, quoting them as the standout tracks and his favorites. Tony Yayo has also confirmed that Ron Browse and Eminem have produced for the album. The first introductory track, entitled Wanna Lick, features Lil' Kim. The collaboration was made possible due to Young Buck bringing 50 Cent and Lil' Kim together to reconcile, which killed the feud between the two artists that started slowly after Magic Stick was released in 2003. The beef is believed to have started by some comments made by 50 Cent toward Lil' Kim regarding plastic surgery. The beef somehow spilled out into the streets. According to witnesses of the DoubleTree Hotel, gunfire erupted just as 50 Cent and about a dozen members of his entourage approached the side entrance of the hotel. No one was injured during the gunfire, but the rapper and his entourage jumped into several SUVs and left the scene before police arrived. 9 shell casings were found, 3 from a .45 caliber weapon and 6 from a .40 caliber weapon. In collaboration, a parking lot attendant at the hotel confirmed the gunfire erupted just as the rapper and about a dozen members of his entourage approached the side entrance of the hotel. Authorities issued a subpoena in 50 Cent's name, Curtis Jackson, in order to question the rapper. But the subpoena was only good in New Jersey. 50 Cent at the time was in Europe finishing up a tour. Jersey City Police Captain Peter Nalbach explained the situation. "We have some photographs, and we are trying to get people who were actually there to identify the people in the photographs. We believe 50 Cent was present, and we still want to talk to him." Also, Sergeant Edgar Martinez explained that there was some property damage. According to Martinez, police are presently reviewing video footage. "We do have a video that we're looking at right now. Police are still hoping to question 50 Cent and members of his entourage about the incident." Authorities believe that the shots were warning shots. Just a few hours before the incident, 50 Cent was on New York's WQHT, and during his impromptu freestyle session, the rapper rhymed, "I wrote Magic Stick, I gave Kim a hit. Then I refused to shoot the video, she threw a fit. Got emotional and shit. Now this I don't get. Why would I care about your emotions? You're not my biatch." Prior to recording the duet, 50 Cent accused the singer of having plastic surgery on her nose. Then the duo recorded the chart-topping hit Magic Stick last year. But Lil' Kim was said to be upset that 50 Cent would not appear in a video for the song, nor perform the hit with the singer. It is unknown if the track will appear on the Lock and Load album. Rapper Lil' Kim's boyfriend, Damian Hardy, is being investigated by authorities in relation to the shooting that occurred outside the DoubleTree Hotel in New Jersey City, New Jersey, according to New York's Daily News. No one was hurt in the incident. Authorities passed out mugshots of Hardy to witnesses of the shooting. Hardy, an ex-con, served prison time for shooting at a narcotics cop and witness tampering. He lives with Lil' Kim at her Bergen County estate. Lil' Kim made waves despite being incarcerated by downing 50 Cent for his lyrical content. In an interview, Lil' Kim says the head of G-Unit is too violent on wax and, in his personal life, his real life, he carries that on. And that's not a great message. I think he promotes it. The self-proclaimed Queen Bee implied that 50 should do more with his power than try to ruin careers. How can you still be angry at people? Still want to come at people? You're making money. You're selling millions of records. You should do something with that leverage. Kim denounces the idea of beef, however, saying, "How can a man have beef with a woman? That's just not cool." In 2005, Lil' Kim served a 366-day sentence for perjury in connection with a shooting stemming from her beef with Def Jam MC Foxy Brown. Kim's latest album, The Naked Truth, has experienced critical and commercial success. Early on, before the feud between the two artists, Lil' Kim said that working with 50 Cent was fun and that the experience reminded her of her late mentor, the Notorious B.I.G. "That was fun because 50 and I had a great chemistry, you know what I mean?" Lil' Kim said. "It was just weird, like, it gave me a feeling that I think I might had when Biggie was alive. Like It To Me reminded me of a Get Money record." Rapper 50 Cent, who rarely appears in public without his bulletproof vest, has purchased a kitty-sized custom bulletproof vest for his 6-year-old son, Marcus. The child vest is for use while Marcus is on the stage with his dad, according to the published reports. 50 Cent is slated to appear on the covers of Rolling Stone and Vibe magazines. The rapper, who was shot 9 times in 2000, told Rolling Stone why he is always on top of security and safety issues. Niggas out there selling drugs is after what I got rapping. February 2008. Rapper 50 Cent was ordered to pay an undisclosed figure after assaulting a photographer. The hip-hop star attacked the New York Post deputy photo assignment editor, Jim Alcorn, in 2003. Alcorn filed a lawsuit, claiming that he was assaulted after taking a photograph of the star as he left a jewelry shop. He sustained neck and jaw injuries. Alcorn's lawyer, Sanford Rubenstein, tells New York gossip column Page 6 a settlement was reached and all parties are satisfied. A spokesman for Jackson says, "It's a legal issue that's been settled." G-Unit has recorded a mixtape featuring a damning virginal assault on Puff Daddy. The rapper throws a number of unfounded allegations at his rival about the death of Notorious B.I.G. on one of his tracks, which is entitled Hip Hop. It's featured on a mixtape put together by 50 Cent and DJ Who Kid called Hip Hop is Dead, G-Unit Radio Part 22. Hip Hop is Dead is the title of the imminent comeback album from Nas, although it is the artist formerly known as Puff Daddy who comes in for the most stick. During the course of Hip Hop, 50 raps, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? If we don't get them, they're gonna kill us all. Man, Puffy know who hit that boy. Man, that man's soft. He's scared them boys from the west side gonna break him off. I guess this means I won't be invited to Diddy's white parties in the Hamptons. I don't give a damn. I don't want to hang out with your punk ass, no way." On the business side of things, Lloyd Banks, who cites in no particular order Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, and the aforementioned Rakim as a few of his biggest influences, has gotten his feet wet in a very big way with his DVD contributions to the adult film industry. I have my own production company, Bank Shot Productions, and I produce adult films, Banks confesses. Projecting, I was actually nominated 4 times at the AVN Awards, and I won 2 awards. I'm now casting and getting ready to start the second project, which will be titled Groupie Love Part 2. It'll be ready for the actual release of the new album, just to add more value to the album. It's business, and a new way to just stay relevant and make more money. Outside of that, I got a deal right now that's in the works, but I don't want to drop no names until the paperwork is signed and sealed. Put it like this, I'm trying to be the #1 playboy in hip-hop, and I just want to take it to that level because I have an angle. I have an open lane for that. I don't have any kids, I don't have a wife or anything like that. I'm 24 years old and I'm having a good time. So that's part of the reason why I can actually do the adult films, because I have nobody to answer to. My mother told me to go get the money, and I went to go get it. In an ongoing child support dispute, 50 Cent was handed a victory after a judge ruled in his favor in a dispute with his ex-girlfriend over child support for their son Marcus. The superstar rapper took Shaniqua Tompkins to court after refusing to agree to her request for more money for the upkeep of the 10-year-old. Tompkins previously asked for $50,000 a month, but was granted just half that sum, $25,000 a month, when the court viewed her and her son's expenses. But that figure was reduced again, and Tompkins now only receives $6,700 a month from the multi-millionaire indie club hitmaker, reported the New York Post gossip column Page 6. Jackson's lawyer, Brett Kimmel, said, "My client and I are very happy with the ruling."
Check this out. She had a job. She worked for 3 months in 2001. And then she thought she was entitled to 17% because she listened to the bum. Oh, man, these chicks that she be having around her got to think because New York State lost this, you entitled to 17%, girl. You see all that vitamin water money going in. Like I was giving her $25,000 a month. And she went in, she thinking she going to get $50,000. Now, look, the money is being provided for him to stay in the same schooling district. I don't even want him to change schooling district. That's why the impression was they were going to stay to June.
Oh, before school, but right at school.
But because I'm paying the money to allow them to move into that house out there, and they're not moving, the judge gave me the $9,000. She owes me $9,000 right now.
It just gets
It just doesn't stop.
You know, the house is my house. She just want to drag the situation out as long as possible. You know? I think she just wants to see me. You know, so drag me back and forth to court. My time is worth a lot, so you know, I'm wasting my time right now.
How do you feel about the case?
Well, I've been with 50 for a long time. He's a very evil, abusive man, and that's why I left him in the first place. Any man who could evict his child out of a house is evil after I took care of him and I worked when he wasn't doing anything. So he's a very evil, disgruntled man, and I just hope God bless him.
Okay, are you confident about the case?
Yeah, because God takes care of everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm a winner. I always win. I'm just trying to prolong the situation as long as possible.
God bless Mr. Jackson. I hope he gets some help, and that's just that.
Okay. How do you feel about the final result?
It's not final. Still working on it.
In 2003, the G-Unit Clothing Company was established when 50 Cent teamed up with Marc Ecko, the founder of Ecko Unlimited, to create a line of clothing and accessories inspired by 50 Cent himself and fellow members of G-Unit. Young Buck has stated it features more coordinated colors, a whole new flavor, and a classy street look. Comprising of G-Unit menswear, kids line, and women's collection, the company has sported a variety of denim, tees, fleece, outerwear, hats, and athletic-inspired sportswear, which can frequently be seen being worn by 50 Cent. It is a rare sight to see a G-Unit artist not wearing some sort of G-Unit apparel. Following its first major successes, G-Unit menswear and kids line, the G-Unit Clothing Company, which has approximately $50 million in retail sales since its initial launch, released in late 2004 its equally successful G-Unit Women's Collection, which made its full debut in 2005. G-Unit Women's Collection is intended to appeal to women ages 16 to 26. The collection features select denim, tees, skirts, knit cut and sew tops, woven tops, and outerwear. This is for obvious reasons usually spotted being worn by the First Lady of G-Unit, Olivia. The clothing line was announced as a joint partnership between 50 Cent and Marc Ecko, founder of Ecko Unlimited. The deal was said to be unique, as Ecko wasn't handling the designing of the clothing, but rather the marketing and merchandising of the brand. Marc Ecko likened the deal to Nike and Michael Jordan coming together for Air Jordan. In February of 2008, it was announced that the partnership had ended, with the G-Unit offices closing and their employees having been given notice. 50 Cent maintains full ownership of the line, along with the opportunity to relaunch it on his own. G-Unit sneakers are urban appeal shoes, designed and marketed by the Reebok Shoe Company. It was a shoe granted to rapper 50 Cent after his group G-Unit released their debut album, Beg for Mercy. The shoes are one of the most popular hip-hop brands and designed for fashion, sports, and cal appeal. The shoes came under controversy when commentator Bill O'Reilly rallied a boycott against the shoemaker for endorsing their product with the rapper. 50 Cent still endorses the shoe, and Reebok continues to distribute the product, although they are derided by some for their allegedly derivative styles, with some G-Unit shoes resembling the Air Force One and Air Jordan series. Besides all the negative media surrounding the group, there is always a bright light at the end of the tunnel. With all of the fame and fortune, giving and caring is the main objective of the group. G-Unit founded a charity called the G-Unity Foundation Incorporated, which is a public foundation that provides grants to nonprofit organizations that focus on improving the quality of life for low-income and underserved communities. The main goals of the charity are emphasizing the critical importance of supporting academic institutions, supporting nonprofit organizations that focus on the academic enrichment of a child, and supporting after-school activities. Also, the group sponsors the Book Bank Foundation. The mission of the Book Bank Foundation is to promote and advocate literacy. It accomplishes this by using motivational speaking, models of positive behavior, scholastic achievement, and resourceful thinkers to simulate self-esteem, academic achievement, future goal setting, and stories of achievement in communities where illiteracy exists. It is committed to the community and focuses on the betterment of tomorrow's future, our children. The vision is to decrease the number of illiterate by providing sound and innovative ways of promoting learning, social awareness, and individual prosperity. The Book Bank Foundation was established as a reminder that, to whom much is given, much is required. G-Unit's contributions to the community and society is a model that should be copied throughout all of hip-hop. Despite feuds that many in Respect believe are set up for the group's record sales and notoriety, G-Unit is given much respect. With a leader that clings to fame in all media, whether bad or good, he and his crew will go down as one of the most notorious crews of all time in the rap game.
People still view G-Unit as a group, you know, and what they're saying is G-Unit growing is G-Unit as a group is over. You know, G-Unit as a company is developing. So we're absorbing new artists like Mobb Deep and MOP. And they should look forward to even more artists coming over to G-Unit. And it's happening in the way it is, and it's such a rapid pace because they're seeing the projects being marketed and promoted properly. So yeah, I think every artist's dream is to have their project being taken care of properly. They want it to be successful.
You made a statement, or I think it was last week, where people were saying they weren't getting their royalty checks, their publishing checks. I guess Young Buck was complaining. Oh yeah, what about? Is there any? Now see, I held you down with that.
You can take this as official notice right here. 'Cause pretty much you could say Young Buck is no longer in the group G-Unit, but signed to G-Unit as a solo artist.